I thought that like we'd prepped something beforehand.
Something that was like in the
totally
sky,
blanked on it. Yeah. Oh, thank goodness for that. It's not. I'm not just stupid. Okay, moving past that momentary existential crisis, spawning in the top right, in the green, representing my insanity, it is the Zerg player Sacsri.
But it says 3, you know, like to optimally, but it's been kind of agreed upon that 2 on each mineral patch and then 3 in each gas is the better way to go without wasting any minerals. No, not minerals, but just, what is it, mining, like, efficiency?
Yeah, no, it's like if you get 16, then you have 2 on each one, and sometimes you lose a bit of time because they're slightly further away patches, but you don't waste any money. So you have 22 per base, 16 minerals, 3 on each gas. That's most efficient, but not totally optimized. And the only time you exceed that is when you're doing specific all-ins.
Ah, all right.
Yeah. It can
so
happen.
Here from, I'm wondering, like, you know some of those Terran all-ins you see that purposely drop supply drops?
I guess so.
There's been a few of them that I've seen. Can't remember exactly, but sometimes you do these things that don't seem like sometimes you hear people say, "Hey, you should never, ever, ever, ever drop a supply on." You know, it's always about the mule. But there's certain builds where, like, you know, you don't use the 100 minerals to make the depot because technically the supply drop is free. You know what I mean? If you get free 100, like it's 100 minerals, whereas the mule isn't necessarily free minerals, but just minerals faster.
Yeah. Some people do equate the two, though. They do go like, this is... some people will say, oh, if you waste a mule on a scan or a depot, you know, that's 270 minerals just lost. But it's not lost, it's just not mined right now.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my StarCraft pet peeves.
Whoa!
Yeah, nice catch on that Reaper there. This little guy has been jetpacking around the base, kind of going, oh, what can I see? He actually didn't see anything in the main base, didn't quite get on the other side of the hatchery to the extent that he saw how much gas had been mined down the pool, whether it was
He didn't even see if there was a pool or a gas at all. I mean, he knows there's a pool because of the queens and the lings, but like he didn't even see that there was a gas at all. Maybe, and he wouldn't even know possibly, I would say, because at this timing, you know, if you see 4 queens, then maybe you think, okay, it is gasless, but this is the time where you do see the 2. And 3 will usually be made in total, regardless of what build you're going for. But usually 4 if it's gasless, but I don't think SuperNova cares, as he's just doing his own build here. Really fast starport, once again, coming out for him after he has expanded to his natural.
Yeah. I kind of like the fast starport indeed, because he's getting that... a lot of Marines that we've seen before getting the Hellions, and we actually saw, this reminds me of the build that he did against Parting, but with the expansion, obviously, and I love that he just used that
Wow, did you saw that, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Really
Lifted up the command center, used it for the high ground vision to kill the Overlord, and then put it back down again. That is cheeky to say the least, but SuperNova making it work for him.
Yeah, SuperNova is a very interesting playstyle. I really love it. And Saber was talking about this earlier. Oh, gotta watch out for that Reaper, but he was talking about it earlier. SuperNova has a really nice mech style too, so I would really love to see, you know, some mech play coming out of him this game, or maybe not this game, but at least in the series, as we haven't really seen too much mech. I think Lila Canine was the last time that we did, but I don't know if we'll see it in this game specifically. But hey, the armory's coming out here, and we don't see any evos, so let's see exactly where this game does take us.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit difficult to hold this third base for Sacsri because his creep spread, due to taking the gas, not getting the queens quite as early as you might with a gasless opening, it's going to mean that these units are a little bit harder to get across. Obviously, the queens take a long time to walk there, but now the Banes are finished. They could, well, I mean, they will be instrumental in driving back this force. SuperNova is on top of things. He is not allowing himself to be caught by the kind of wall of lings, as we've seen players like Scarlet do in the past. The Marines, however, are not so lucky.
Oh, not so lucky at all. But it's the Hellions that he wants to keep alive here. The Marines are just there to, you know, kind of add some DPS while the Hellions are in Hellion mode. But when they get to that Hellbat mode, and granted he splits them, I know we've seen some Hellbats have super glue kind of just like magnetized to each other, but we'll see if SuperNova does. And
I'm just checking this out.
Looks very nice.
He is looking good, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, like, he didn't lose really anything so far. Just a bunch of lings, and that's what you need Good bailing hits though, but
and that's how you
second
split
spins.
Hellbats.
Really nice. You bait it in, and then you just split it at the last second. Is
Yeah.
some damage going to be able to get done here? Remember that
Sick.
SuperNova has invested. He's going to lose the medevac. He's invested quite a bit to make this happen, and not getting the third. Sacsri playing it quite a bit safe. Not just droning up his third. And this is what I like about ZVT nowadays. You can't just go ahead and drone and hold with only queens. You really have to make sure that you don't die to certain things like this, and that's what Sacsri did.
Yeah, it's not kind of flat macro game. What you see
Yeah,
is
exactly.
dynamism within the meta. You see people going for different styles that demand different responses, and I actually do like it in that regard. Although apparently Zerg is underperforming very slightly compared to Terran at the moment, according to Blizzard at least. So they are trying to make it just that little bit more kind of tweaking the balance in favor of Zerg just a little bit. Oh, that wall going.
Wow. Yeah, that could have been
really?
scary.
Yeah.
And look at this, another factory getting added. And I love the fact that he got that third base too, because a lot of the times you'll see that kind of being all in, where they're like, all right, we're going in with the medevac and the Hellbats, and then the follow-up is kind of weak. But no, the third base already done. Second factory dropping, and I think we are going to see some mech here on Overgrowth, as he's already taking those gases at the third. Usually as a sign, some Banshees going to be doing some work. Getting one kill. How many more can he get?
That's not as many kills as you'd like to have as a Banshee, is it? No.
But I mean, if he keeps it alive, it will be supplementing his army, because he is going for a mech-based army. No Spore Crawler here in the natural, though.
No, there is an Overseer that's going to be drifting over to chase away that Banshee, heading towards the main now, and I think that's the same thing that's going to happen. Just the following Overseer. Oh, he's trying to juke it back, but not pulling it off. Actually taking some serious hits from Queens.
Gotta be very careful. And he protected the Spire from being seen. So SuperNova has no idea what kind of follow-up that Sacsri wants to go for. And the different ones that you can do, of course, are go straight into a Swarm Host, and then you typically will see the Swarm Host Muta. But sometimes you'll even see very fast Roach pushes or Roach drops, depending on the army composition. But I don't even know if Sacsri knows that it's going to be mech, because he's getting melee upgrades at the moment. But the fact that he just dropped a Roach Warren, I don't know. He's getting bailing speed. Yeah, he knows it's mech. Double expanding.
Yeah, getting that double expansion, of course, one being on the gold base, which is going to allow for a lot of money. That's probably why that Roach Warren is going to be following this up, because Sacsri, having been pretty passive for most of this game, not having really put that much pressure on, just defending, and macroing up, now 70 drones, is getting that Muta count that he wants and can follow it up with almost anything that he fancies to follow it up with. Going to have all the techs, going to have all the options.
Exactly. And as soon as you recognize that it is mech, you can play this greedy. But there have been some timing pushes that are pretty scary as well. So as long as Sacsri identifies that the possibility is there, then he'll be all right. He can get his creep spread really nicely. It's going all through the middle of the map. And SuperNova is getting his upgrades as well. He's on 1-1 already. And as soon as you saw that Sacsri's already getting the +1 attack for ranged and dropping the infestation pit, going to allow him to get a healthy Muta count to kind of deal with those Banshees. Maybe see some Hellions moving around the map. But he's not going to really get any damage done with these, I don't think, because SuperNova seems to be pretty protected. I guess the third seems a little bit weak, as it's... Yeah, the natural is actually quite weak, but he's spreading his stores up in that location.
Yeah, it's kind of a funky situation where we're seeing not that much actual army for SuperNova that can deal with this mutable flock, but he's just got the static defense and the general Thor count to be able to deal with the mutas. And of course, mutas do not tend to split up that much. They really do stay in a ball more than anything else in the game, except maybe Colossi. And they won't divert from that. They'll just try and pick SuperNova apart in the corners, and if he's got the Thors in the right places, he should be fine. However, Sacsri going to be macroing up, going towards Hive now as well, and I'm wondering, with that infestation pit and the missile attacks, I'm wondering if maybe we will see some Swarm Hosts come out on the field.
I'm wondering too. You look at his bank and you're like, yo, Sacsri, wow, you learned to macro noob, but no, he's identifying exactly what kind of composition that SuperNova's going to go for, and then going to go ahead and make the units. Yeah, I think he already has a Swarm Host upgrade, does he? I don't know if he does. No, he never got it.
I don't think so.
He just got that really fast Hive. And SuperNova's getting a pretty scary army, and Sacsri's going to need to continue to look at it and just adjust his army in order to deal with whatever it is. It looks like it's going to be Muta. 13 additional Mutas on the way here.
There's nothing wrong with that. Getting the Mutas is probably going to be strong against a tank. I mean, there's only 3 Thors in this composition. That's the really critical thing. There's 3 Thors, a Viking, and in theory a Raven that can hit the Mutalisks. Now the Raven can negate them. Yeah,
is being produced.
Actually quite worrying. That is a lot of splash damage that's going to be brought down. And of course, the Hellions going to be involved as well. Blue Flame Hellbats are not a unit to mess with.
And SuperNova looking like he wanted to push out there, but was just getting his 4th base up at the gold as well. But whoa, Sacsri's moving on in with the Banes and the Lings and the Mutas. Not really going to commit completely, just trading. And that's what you got to do here. He probably doesn't want to stay on Ling Bling Muta for the most part, but wow, you got to be careful. Like you're saying, stacking up those Mutas. And that's
those Banes weren't
Banelings there, yep.
Yeah, those Banes getting themselves into trouble, running straight into the Thors, even splitting the Thors, SuperNova making it look like anyone can do it. And the Mutas stacking!
It's such a dicey situation. He is playing with fire right now, but 11 Mutas have been killed. But now they're going to get some damage done here. This is a very immobile army.
It is a very immobile army. You're going to see the Thors just trying to chase down the Mutalisks, and that is something that they're not very good at. But the Mutas trying to fly out, getting shot to pieces by the turrets. 19
Mutas have fallen here. So much, actually. 11.2-ish K to 7.3K lost for Sacsri and SuperNova, respectively. And the army of SuperNova is looking pretty scary as he does start to mine from this gold base. And Sacsri is still on this kind of Ling Bling Muta style, but now he's going to transition it into Ultras. But I don't know how many tanks he was actually able to clean up with that. Not really that many. So Ultras are okay if they can close the distance, but I mean tanks do pretty damn well against them.
Tanks certainly do okay against Ultras, and they kill the Lings that often come with them really effectively as well. So it's a bit mixed. But Vipers being added in are going to stop it.
Yeah, the Viper. That's the key unit here. Anytime you're facing off against a unit composition such as Mac. I mean, Vipers are great in all situations for the most part, but, you know, Bio is so much more mobile that they can maneuver themselves out of the Blinding Cloud unless they do get fungled, which is like the Wombo combo.
Yeah.
Blinding Cloud.
God, it's so brutal. It is just absolutely. I've been taunted by my Zerg player friend, and he will say, "Oh, have you heard about the new Legacy of the Void thing? They're going to combine Fungal and Blinding Cloud." And I believed him, and I was just like, "No, they can't do that."
That would be the worst. Even as a Zerg player, I would be sad.
Yeah, it would not.
Just because because like when somebody pulls that off, it's just so cool. Being controlling all those units and then having it happen. But look, SuperNova is holding on pretty strong here. They're about equal army supply, but his upgrades are actually surprisingly a bit behind that of Sacsri. Just his attack upgrade is there, but Sacsri is getting his +3/+3 relatively fast. And I like the fact that he didn't slack on those upgrades.
Well, that is the cost of going for mech, of course. It's a very gas-intensive army to have. So you make the army because you need it to survive, and then you don't have the upgrades to quite such an extent. Whereas going for a fast high strategy, Sacsri has flowed naturally into a number of upgrades, including that chitinous plating that's going to make the Ultras so very difficult to kill. With the Queen support as well, you're just going to see, I think we're going to see Blinding Clouds go down on the tanks, the majority of the tanks. I think we're going to see heavy transfuses aimed towards the Ultralisks, and they might just chow on down through the entire mech force.
Yeah, I am a little bit nervous though for Sacsri for giving SuperNova this much time. You see what Protoss players actually were doing in the phase of the game. I remember when the 2/2 Ultra Queen like Lennox style was really popular. When the Sim City was literally the biggest weakness or the best defense you could do against that Ultra style, and this is exactly what SuperNova is doing. Look at the chokes, and then look at what he's going to be putting here with these planetaries in the siege tank positioning. He's going to need some godly Blinding Clouds, and then a sick remix, because he's not going to really trade efficiently, I don't think, but it's going to be about just being on that better economy. But I mean, if you look at the map, SuperNova looks like a Zerg player himself. I mean, look at that. He has sensor towers, it's pretty much the creep. He has bases everywhere as well. He's mining gas from everywhere, like... It's going to be rough.
Yeah. It is going to be quite quite rough, I would say. I like this transition towards air that we're seeing out of SuperNova, but it does worry me a bit as well because Queens are pretty good on air. Like,
yeah.
It's not like this army can't do anything about this.
And you need when you see the Terran player going for that, you do need to invest in the infestors. Like, it's really the only cost-efficient way to deal with Ravens, unless you're just dancing them around and you're starving the Terran out. But this is going to go the long haul, and I guess Sacsri getting that bottom left base is the best he can do right now. He's just kind of staying one base ahead, win off on the war of attrition, because with this army, there are no swarm hosts yet. He doesn't have the infestors that can regenerate the energy, so he's going to have a very cost-inefficient trade, unless SuperNova really screws up. But he needs to get rid of these ultras somehow if he does want to transition into dealing with that air composition that SuperNova is preparing himself for. You know, it's just ultras are gonna like get there, and then it's like, hey, we can't shoot up.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing about the Zerg econ is that as Sacsri is he's close to maxed out at this point, at least, and making actually a drone, I think probably some infestors in a minute. What we're going to see out of him, I suspect, is a general kind of banking of money. He's just going to get a ton of money, save it all up, and wait for the moment where he makes his super army and kind of goes, oh, you've got this in your composition, and this and this and this and this and this. But you can't remax and I can, and then he goes and kills his opponent.
Ultralisk run by harass as they go to the bottom right. If there's one way you can get use out of your ultras, it's just like this, but he's actually not focusing on the planetary anymore. Be awesome if you could get it. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna be enough.
I think he could have done that.
I think he could have
got that.
Yeah, didn't exactly get it, but that's a huge investment, and I mean, there's one way to trade it cost inefficiently, and that's one way as well. So, so if you look at the resources lost.
If you were looking to trade Ultralisks out inefficiently, that's how you do it.
That's how you do it, man. I'm gonna go make an audio build on like input builds.
Nice.
Hit Gillyweed up and say, hey, let's do this. I just figured this out. But, yeah, this is what you can do as a Zerg, though. I mean, just going into Swarm Host, and then eventually the slow picking apart of the Terran army. But this Raven transition, it's pretty scary.
It is really scary, especially if later on we see it mixed in with battle cruisers. Raven battle cruiser is bordering on unstoppable by pretty much any force that isn't Raven battle cruiser, and even that doesn't do very well.
Yeah, I really like this though. This is kind of cool, something that you don't usually see in TVZ. Another Ultralisk run by, but the thing is, he's going for Ghost, and Ghosts are. So you don't even think about it in this situation. You're gonna go get the Ghosts. You can get a EMP on the Queens. You get them on the Infestors, and then all of a sudden, you are in a position where your Ravens can just kind of move on in, and you do the slow push up. Instead of trading with the Vipers, why don't you just get rid of all of their energy? And Ghosts are actually a really good idea in this situation. Because we're going to see a lot of energy-based units.
You never see people going for Ghosts in TVZ, but it's really good to just add a couple in. But then you've got like 5 spellcasters to control.
Yeah. SuperNova with the Banshee hit squad coming around the top side here of this is Sacsri. I don't even know what number base this is because he just decided to take the map as soon as he realized that it was mech. So.
And Banshees do not care about bases. That Banshee force just went, yeah, it's gone now. Off we go.
Yeah, and since those upgrades do transition to air, he's already fully upgraded there.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm looking at the ground. 2-2 is the upgrade. Well, 2-3 is the upgrade for the ranged. The let's see what we have in the sky. It looks like it is only 3-1. I say only 3-1, but I mean...
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. It's often considered not really that worth going for armor upgrades against mech as well. It's a nice perk, but it's not that important. Because what it does is mech hits so hard with individual attacks that it's attacks that armor doesn't take that much off each one.
This is what I'm talking about. We have nukes on the way here for SuperNova, so...
Yeah.
Not only getting the Ghosts for those EMPs, but he's going to be able to set up positioning and then move forward slowly if he chooses to, with the slow nuke push. 3 Ghost Academies on the way, and then what are these upgrades? Have you ever seen this before? Durable materials. We got
that's PF armor, isn't it?
Extends the duration of Raven auto turrets and point defense drones. All right.
Okay.
So, all right. Learning something new. I don't even know yet. I bet he has it already.
What's it called?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Armor. Building armor, whatever it's called. It's not Neo Steel plating, but that is a funny upgrade.
Yeah,
I
Neo
wanna
Steel.
Get that. No, it's not Neo Steel. Neo Steel buffs bunkers.
It's the bunker. Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, getting that durable materials is of course going to increase the duration on those PDDs that the Ravens are going to be spawning, and the auto turrets that they tend to throw down as well. So that's actually a very smart call considering his composition, but it's not something you ever see people do.
Here comes the nuke. Nuke number 1 going down. 3 in production, and this allows SuperNova to move forward if he does choose to clear out the creep. And it's just like it's a zoning ability right here.
Yeah, it is. That's what nuke ends up being used for a lot of the time. You just see it used as a way to force people to move around.
Yeah. What he needs to do is get some medevacs and drop them all over the bases and start nuking like that. And he's going to be
cool.
just massing those nukes. Oh boy.
And something else I was thinking as he kind of dropped that was I was thinking, oh, he's gonna at least hit the buildings. Everything else has noticed him run away, but then of course they're Zerg buildings, so they just uprooted him and ran away.
Yep. Oh, sick fungos on those Vikings. The air force for SuperNova is not looking that great in the Viking department. The Raven count is quite healthy, but the tanks keep on getting cleaned up on the ground. But then the Vikings, so they can't really shoot those Vipers too well. But, I mean, when you get a good amount of Ravens, it can get so scary. And if you don't get those great fungals, then you just get your whole army not force fielded, but PDD'd, zoned out by that. And then also by the secret missiles. If you're not paying attention, the nukes. Boom. Force Spore Crawler, not moving out.
Oh, got an overseer.
There you go. See?
Yeah,
Progress.
Worth it.
And the thing is, doesn't it clear out the creep tumor too? It doesn't care if it's cloaked, right?
No, I'm pretty sure Nuke doesn't care whether things are cloaked. Or Suki Missile even.
Yeah.
It's
so now we're seeing nukes everywhere. On the right side, going on the left side. Nukes.
Such nukes right now.
Juke the nukes. We'll see. If
I don't know. Oh, he's getting out of there. I'm gonna lose the spores and the gas though. And this, that's a bad day to be that drone. But that drone survived because he was in the gas. Look, he's
no
fine.
way. That is funny.
He's calling down another one just for that guy.
Like imagine that you're mining in there and all of a sudden you just look up and it's just the sky. You're like, what the hell?
The building you were near has just melted. It's like, thought I was inside.
No, it would have been so probably like a classic moment if it would have been priceless if he had like Vespine in his mouth as that happened. To say it comes out of it, it's like what?
Yeah,
there are nukes going on everywhere. Not really the most cost efficient nukes, but I mean he's just pretty much Sacsri is very aware of where these are going down, but it's mainly just to keep on moving forward and.
To be honest, nukes aren't that expensive in this game.
They're not, right? What, it's 100
If you compare a
gas?
nuke, it's like it costs as much gas as a sentry and as many minerals as a zealot. Like I think it's the same price as a ghost.
It's about ghost is a 150.
There you go. It costs less than a ghost.
It's less than a ghost, yeah.
A nuclear missile costs less than a dude to press the button to launch a nuclear missile.
Oh my god.
No one's ever noticed this before.
Science. Wow. Never thought of that.
Yeah, there you go. So the swarm is just going to keep shoving towards the mech army and, of course, getting neutered by the PDDs that are lasting extra long time because of the durable materials. Meanwhile, the ghosts with their nukes pushing forwards and killing off creep, killing off everything that really gets under the nukes and what can't be there. They just keep shoving.
Exactly, and he was able to start mining here as well. So this is the base that Sacsri was able to mine quite a bit from, but now SuperNova is going to get the rest of that, and as a Zerg player, your heart kind of sinks into your stomach because you've been trying to keep the Terran off of additional gas this whole time. So as soon as I get another base, it's like, great, well, now I got to figure out how I'm going to do this because my whole point is to win this war of attrition, and this is not the way.
Free units are a good way to win a war of attrition, Tempo. And I see Broodlords morphing in, so we're going to be adding some of those to the composition. You're going to be hurling those down at the tanks. I think Broodlords are a really fantastic addition to this composition because unlike when we saw Bly use them earlier against a Roach composition and a Hydra composition, where I felt like it perhaps wasn't the best idea, here they're going to be able to throw that damage down and they aren't stopped by PDD.
Exactly, and they also, yeah, they're vulnerable a little bit to Vikings, but the tank fire, they're not vulnerable to that either. You know, they crawl over to the tank, and then the other tanks shoot on them. Whereas Swarmhost Locust can get killed completely by a big enough tank line. Yeah. We are seeing nukes everywhere. Sacsri, oh my god, they're right on top of the Broodlords. I don't even know if he's paying attention. He is, but is it going to be too late?
I think he killed the ghost. I think he must have killed the ghost because I can't see the nuke coming down anywhere.
So scary.
And interesting to see that the nuke is spent at the point of activation rather than the point of detonation. But the
oh my god!
Oh,
but the fungals. Yes! But the fungals, can he continue this? Sacsri gets a really nice hit. Are they going to get away, though?
They get away. I can't believe they got away. How did he let that slip? That would have been his trade for the Broodlords. That would have been the sickest fungal that paid for everything. And in that moment, I think Sacsri somehow managed to drop the ball.
I think that is exactly what happened there. Oh, no. A terrible situation to be in here. Sacsri's bank is not as great anymore, and SuperNova holds on to this base, and he still has his Ravens, which is just the most cost-efficient unit here, just because, and another miss on the fungal. Yeah, trading those Broodlords for that. He did not get the damage he wanted with that. You know, he baited him out, and it was a very expensive bait.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get away, you know, it's just how there are other fish in the sea, you know, left, so...
Yeah. Sometimes you've just got to spend 10 Broodlords to not kill any Ravens.
Yeah. But, I mean, they're still low, so SuperNova, if he does slip up, he could lose a lot of those Ravens. So... But these ghosts just nuking everything. How many nukes are... Yeah, he has 2 more in addition.
He makes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The guy makes a lot of
Sacsri, he's just running out of steam. He has 300 income, you know, 200 gas, 27 harvesters, and he's against a force that keeps on regenerating army and will continue to trade. And he just has the better economy. That base mining. Yeah.
This is the EMPs just went down on the Infestor. I just caught that. Really, really nicely deployed. And now, with this big Corruptor force pushing forward into the range of the PDDs, the Vikings are going to have a good day because
they'll fly into it. He's pulling the.
That's a lot of dead Corruptors. That is a lot of dead Corruptors.
Yep, that's like New Year's, man. Fireworks everywhere, a little bit early, and that looks like it's going to be it. GG, SuperNova.
We are back. We are on King Sejong Station as promised. And spawning in the top left is the player who took a game off his opponent after a 40-minute slugfest. In the blue, representing Root Gaming, it is the Terran player SuperNova.
And his opponent spawning in the bottom right corner. He is representing my insanity. It is the Green Zerg. Down 1 game. Can you bring it back? Sacsri. I guess we got what we wished for, or at least what Saber did. And he was like, hey, man, I hope we see a sick mech game.
Yeah, exactly. And indeed a macro game, a nice macro game, which is, I saw some people out there wishing for a bit of macro after the for want of a better word, cheese fest that was SuperNova versus Parting. And there you have it. That is a macro game if ever I saw one. Pretty much all the bases were mined out. I
find it funny that the tip, remember the hint right before that was, hey, did you know that it takes 3 workers on a mineral patch? And let's say they've all utilized that one quite a bit.
He knew, and he used it. All the mining occurred.
He's like, I didn't know that. All right, so let's take every base on the map. And then, oh my god, I didn't know. You can win games by mining more money.
It is a smart plan. Macro is very important, and you should never prioritize your BM over it. So we probably won't be seeing too much of that out of these guys either.
Yeah, we've seen relatively tame chat between a lot of the players. I think trying to think even the closest was the BM that we missed, apparently. When you're like, I think Saber was like, there's so much BM going on, but I think he was trolling us.
Maybe. So I think they were just having a chat.
Series. Yeah.
Yeah. So these 2 players going for just pretty standard openings, to be honest. Like that's a Hajj first. I'm almost certain there was a Hajj first out of Sacsri. Then going for an almost gasless style has continued mining with, I think, 1 drone. I think one
Yep,
drone, but I
yep.
can't actually see at this point. And double gas out of Supernova.
Oh, he has 2 in there, actually. That's actually
Okay.
interesting. He has 2
That's
drones
funky.
in there mining gas.
Slightly faster lair. Maybe roaches? Maybe roaches?
Yeah. I wonder.
I mean,
Maybe he's
we know-
afraid of some aggressive play. Whoa. Alright. I don't know if he did this on purpose. Oh, he's doing the thing again.
Yeah,
with
he's doing the thing again.
Alright, so...
I think this was less worth it this time, but it's still going to do something. Like, it's good to get rid of that.
Well, it does
Fair
supply
play.
block Sacsri, and he's actually
True.
completely supply blocked 2 overlords. This is usually the point where you'll get the double gas if you were going gasless, but he actually opened up with the gas, so it's not like he was planning on skipping that overlord anyway.
Yeah, it is important to keep spending your money, of course. Even if you just have money banking up and you really can't spend it, then just chuck it down into some production, because then you end up at least investing, unless you really have a plan for it. But in this situation, obviously, the supply block didn't do too much damage.
As he's already down. Well, he's already back up to 44 supply. Yep, and like you called it, there it goes, the really fast lair. And are we going to see the addition of some more... Whoa, baneling that's going down. That's probably for safety. But if you see the addition of the 3 more gases, we're going to see some 2-base muta play, perhaps.
I think this is a Roach Bane all-in. I don't know why I think that, but I mean, there's no Roach Warren, but it feels like an aggressive play that isn't necessarily mutaless.
Yeah,
but
he's only on 3.
Yeah,
Yes.
like you would have 4 if you were going for mutas, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what it is Sacsri is planning. I'm sure he's got something up his sleeve, and I'm wondering if SuperNova is going to be able to deal with it. His wall at the front is almost complete, but he doesn't have that many forces.
He doesn't, and he got double gas, so he will be going into that tech opener once more, as he does make a starport. Has the Hellions on the map once again, and is also getting a medevac. And this time, the addition of 2 Widow Mines. What do we see out of Sacsri here? He had added on that other gas, but he just got his 3rd up.
It is.
And yep, it's going to be a Spire coming out of Sacsri. So
well, there you go.
Very fast
Going
Spire.
towards that with it is a very fast Spire. I think that he may have cut that gas in order to get the faster 3rd down, because this is it's not the earliest 3rd in the world, but it's at a reasonable time when you're getting a Spire this fast, and it just seems strange to have not taken the other gas sooner. I don't know.
yeah, well,
Not what you
I'm
normally
sure
see,
he
but
knows it
he's
a bit
got
better
that.
than us.
Exactly, that's the thing. That's
the thing that we have to note. The thing that we have to note here is that no evos were made either. But
True.
gotta watch out. Get those drones away.
Oh,
Nice.
well, one mine goes off, but it is going to get taken out by the medevac and taken away from the base, whilst one of them was killed in the mineral line, having not really achieved very much.
No, and more importantly, I think that SuperNova was able to scout that. If he clicked on that building, he would have known it was a Spire. It may look like it's a spore crawler, so maybe he just clicked on it, made sure that it was indeed that Spire. And,
Yeah, and look at this little guy. These little guys running around, shooting down those overlords on the side of the map, making sure that to deal as much damage to Sacsri as possible. SuperNova is not letting any opportunity go to waste, and that is really, really good play. Never wasting a second of potential.
Yeah, he's been doing that pretty much all day, or all night, or evening, depending on where you do live. And just getting so much use out of these little things with the Raven when he made it, just to deal with DTs, but then using it against, like, Blink Stalkers. So,
Yeah.
some scrappy play, of course, and this is just what I love to see as well, because it just shows you as a player, you kind of, show your personality through it, just saying, like, all right, I'm going to really be aggressive. I want to annoy you and just take you out of your element right now. But Sacsri is going to be the player to try to do that with these mutas.
Yeah, he's
There's already
going
a
to push
turret
those
there.
towards the natural. He's getting chased away by the turret, as you said, but it's going to make it harder, a lot harder, for SuperNova to really safely establish a 3rd base with this mutaflock flying around, being annoying. It means he needs to keep his army around until the 3rd is secured. And of course, if your army's at home, it's not on Sacsri's side of the map dealing damage.
Yeah, but this is a pretty decent force coming out of here. It's going to be hitting with +1, and I don't know about combat shield. It is a little bit of a ways, but there's only 1 turret here in the natural of SuperNova. But does he care? A lot of this has been invested into mutas that do not do very well against this. But I know what we're going to see here. We're going to see some really annoying play coming out of SuperNova, as he does have a tank.
Yeah.
But Sacsri has been working on these rocks for quite a bit, so that's one thing that he does have going for him.
Well, this is a surefire way, as you said, to annoy a Zerg, sieging up on the low ground, using the medevac for the high ground vision. And of course, if the muters fly in, they might be able to snipe the medevac, but at the cost of a large number of the mutalisks. Getting one tank, though, for not that much. And we're seeing the Lings and Banes going around the other side, trying to get a sandwich, trying to get a flank off on this aggressive force of SuperNova.
Yeah, these don't have the Baneling speed, though. They're about to finish it, but he needs to... not really the best trade that he wanted there. And Baneling speed just finished, just like after that. So
sending that in a little bit too early, I think.
Well, here comes a nice run by, but SuperNova is more than prepared at his natural. And now Sacsri is under fire at his natural of his own. Just now getting that +1/+1. If this Baneling nest goes down, he's going to find it increasingly difficult to deal with the Marines, and I think it is going to go down here. It
does. Getting those medevacs out too, although maybe not for long, because of course... Oh no, he's got a reinforcement squad of Marines, so those muters are going to have to turn tail and run back home.
Oh, and these Overlords here, going to supply block Sacsri? No. But he's not going to be able to make anything quite... Yeah, he needs to trade here if he wants to. And he can't make Banelings, remember that. So here's a timing that SuperNova has. And it's very scary when there's no creep and no Banelings here. But I guess this is it's only on 2 bases right now here for SuperNova. This is a really aggressive 2-base attack.
Yeah, it is just a really heavily aggressive 2-base attack, as you said, and I'm not even sure if he's got a 3rd command center, but he may do. I just haven't caught notice of it yet. And this force of Lings around the back has been really annoying, actually. There's been Lings and Muters on the other side of the map, generally trying to deal as much damage at the front to SuperNova as possible, but it really hasn't worked out for Sacsri. He hasn't broken the front, he hasn't dealt that critical killing damage that he kind of wants to be dealing at this point. Whereas SuperNova is shoving forward, has killed off a base, he's got a Baneling nest to deny that has, of course, remade, as there are now more Banelings on the field. And the tank goes down as well, which is going to make it much harder for this to be dealt with. I think this might be finally about to cleaned up.
I think he might do it just barely, and he does clean it up.
Just about.
Now Sacsri is going to get the medevacs that he's been trying to get for so long. Even getting some of these reinforcements, and this is really good. There has not been a 3rd command center here, so SuperNova, if he doesn't get some more momentum and swing back, then he's... Well, it's not going to be as bad, because he did get the natural of Sacsri. That is a really big hit. So SuperNova, although, he did get his army cleaned up there, is definitely not completely dead. But it looks like he wants to end the game here, because look at this stream of blue. Just
it's kind of going forwards and backwards. SuperNova not quite sure. He obviously didn't kill his opponent with his big attack. Now finally throwing down that 3rd base, deciding that... and let's face it, it was basically a 2-base all-in. It now hasn't succeeded, and at that point, traditionally one is behind. But good damage was dealt, so it's much harder to predict exactly where this game will go than if it was just a straight, flat-out failure.
Exactly. Target fire on the Banes, perhaps. No, SuperNova does retain a lot of his army here. Not enough mutas to deal with these. But he does
wave of Banes, I think, that's going to be waiting for these Marines to move out, and they have to stim back now. Not many medevacs to heal those guys up either, so this could more going down now.
And I really like what he's doing there. Sacsri making sure to never allow that the medevac count to get too high. And he's going in for it.
I mean, if you keep those medevacs down, you keep the Marines down, and you keep the harassment down, that's exactly where you want to be as a Zerg player. So now, going to run in, try and deal some damage to that 3rd base that is almost complete. And these Banes, they're going to be one-shotting those Marines. Yeah,
the sight of this command center building here is just the best thing you can see right now. You're like, all right, good. It's not orbital mining, and I would still focus it down. Don't get too crazy, but not the best widow mine hits at all.
I actually thought that they were. I thought they were going to blow up the medevacs for a moment. Yeah, I was scared. Just for a second there, I was very scared for SuperNova. And to be honest, he's still not out of the woods yet. This is still a very worrying engagement. This is not where you want to be pushed back into your natural by Lings, by Banes. The Muters kiting the turret as best they can, but now allowing the Lings to finish it off. And I think they might be able to deal a decisive blow in just a moment, because SuperNova. GG.
here with the final game of the winners match in a series that has been pretty epic so far, especially because this player here in the top left, always having something up its sleeve, it seems. His sleeve is full of lots of tricks. It is going to be the Root representative, SuperNova.
Certainly a man with capacious sleeves. I will not lie. He has got an entire bag full of barrels of tricks. And his opponent on the other side of the map, wearing the fetching Zerg trunks and representing my insanity, he's taking an early gas. His name is Sacsri.
And look at that.
Yeah, it's a good map for aggression.
It is. We've seen even the likes of Jaedong do something like this before, on this map specifically too. In this matchup, maybe assuming that SuperNova will be going for that CC first. But SuperNova is going for the standard opener here with the Barracks into the Reaper. And is he going to get the first scout? I think he will.
Yeah, he's going to send that over there. So he's going to see Sacsri going for this style with a lot of lings early on, fast speed. I think Jaedong likes to use this style as well. And anything that Jaedong does is okay by me.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be interesting. He did see the Overlord coming from there, so he knows that these lings aren't just scouting around somehow or being like, oh, well, just because there's no natural there, it must mean that he's not there, because... No, these are lings coming out here from a 15 or 14 pool, I believe, with a 14 gas. Reaper should be able to take them out eventually, but not without some valuable APM being used. Although these two players play pretty damn fast.
Yeah, I think they've got APM to spare.
Oh, God. Especially at this stage of the game. There's not really as much going on.
Yeah, last game Sacsri had averaged 379.
Yeah, I saw that. Even in the other one on Overgrowth, like it was like a 300 something as well, and that was in a game that was like 40 minutes long. So
that's a long time for your fingers to be moving. So that Reaper sees that the natural's going down now, and is going to have a generally pretty good idea. I think that perhaps without this heavy investment, the style that we see out of Sacsri might have been just like a little bit of pressure zergling. You get those pressure zerglings out, and you see if you can make anything work, but you don't overcommit to it. So if your opponent's caught off guard, you can swing hugely into zerglings because lava, they aren't set until they're set, and if not, then fine, just go into drones. You're good. You're pretty good. You're not too far behind in macro.
And SuperNova played it really safe too, putting that CC on the high ground. Another reason why, like, if you can catch the Terran player making it on the low ground, then you can flood that natural location. If the cancel would actually have been possible with the opener that SuperNova did, just because he did scout it, and all you need is a Reaper, usually for the most part. So, but at this point in time, if that natural was on the ground, I feel like those lings would have had a lot more success, but just for the low price of some mining time, SuperNova will be able to get the Hellions out, get that Reaper out, and be relatively safe, unless this little green backpack Zergling wearing machine is able to come into play. We may see a little bit of a Baneling bust, or we'll see, because it could just be for safety as well.
I mean, you probably don't want to be wearing one of those green backpacks because they are considered to be a little bit dangerous. It's the kind of backpack that you walk into the street and suddenly you'll be bundled by the police. But that's exactly what you want. That's
They're
exactly
not
the
like
point.
Ninja Turtle backpacks,
no,
man.
no, they are of the exploding variety. Most dangerous kind of backpack.
It looks like it is going to be. There's a lot of links coming out here, and I don't know if it's a result of seeing these Hellions or, the fact that he's not taking this third. Oh, but he's confusing me a bit. I think he's just playing it super safe. Sacsri, getting 6 drones as well, making sure that he doesn't get caught off guard, and it's a little bit rough sometimes because if you are delaying your tech by this much, you're hoping that you're able to make your opponent do the same and not cut any corners, rather, kind of have to deal with this.
Yeah, and we've seen the drop go up to the high ground, pull the lings into the main, but then suddenly... Yeah, that's the thing, the Hellbats. Oh, but it's happened again, it's the Banelings just dealing with it. Yeah.
I did not see those Banelings. I thought that SuperNova baited Sacsri and then killed all the lings, but I did not see those Banes morphing at the top. So, really nice read.
Yeah.
From Sacsri.
Sacsri was just one step ahead there. Made it look made it look pretty easy holding that Hellbat push that some people are just very, very intimidated by. You do see players who kind of go, yeah, I can't deal with the Hellbat attack, it's just too strong as a timing, and Sacsri just went, well, that's how you do it, this is what I just
well,
did there.
I mean, it's just like that. It's pretty...
yeah, like it took like 2 seconds, jeez.
Yeah, it was actually very scary because I know that Sacsri, he's been playing it super safe, and I was like, oh, at this point in time, if you do lose to that, it's never a good thing. But I think he's going to go on the counter-aggressive here, and now SuperNova. He didn't pre-split his Hellbats before, but that's because he didn't realize there were Hellbat or Banelings at that time.
Here they come. Straight to that bunker. It ain't no thing. The Lings are going to stream in and kill as many Hellbats as they can. Actually, not trading that effectively against those guys, but the wall is down, and we're going to see either a panic to repair those, or in fact, it might not even matter, because if you see, there is a second wave of forces heading its way across the map from Sacsri's base.
And they're going. They want this kill right now. 18 more Lings on the way. The third hatchery is done. But keep in mind that there is a Cloak Banshee on the way, so we'll be able to deal with this eventually. But how much damage can he do? Because there's really not that much at this point in time. But Hellbats are just so good against Lings that even if you're able to bust through, if you just split your Hellbats just a tiny bit, you don't even have to sometimes. Whoop! Oh, not like that, though.
No, not like that.
God, and that is not what wanted to happen. He did not want that to happen, but Banshee has to come on home. There is so many Lings being flooded across this map right now left, and there are 2 Banelings. No. Okay.
Oh, it's okay. They're going for it, but I don't think they're going to get there. I think they're just going to get cleaned up by the Banshee, and the second wave of Lings that you spotted is going to have to retreat for a little while. And 14 drones being made behind this. We've seen 2 big waves of aggression be made by Sacsri, but now finally he's going to start saturating that third base, transitioning more towards a macro style, and getting those upgrades that he's put off for such a long time.
Yeah, he was hoping he could possibly end the game there. SuperNova did not. Oh, he did go for a third command center, so despite losing a few of those workers, it was only actually 3 workers that were lost throughout all of that, so that's not too bad at all. Sacsri invested a lot of gas to do that, and Hellbats only cost minerals, so that's definitely a great position for SuperNova, especially because he's going to be going into mech, as he does grab 2 more factories. The Banshees do have Cloak already, and it looks like... I'm looking at the, the gas mining is full. He's fully saturated at the natural, and should be mining from his third relatively soon. And Sacsri, has he not recognized this yet? Because he's still going for the melee upgrade. Ling's trying to get something done here.
I mean, they're just seeing the repair, aren't we? Like, the repair it's spending money. That's the thing. It is forcing spending money, and actually, this Terran attack across the map is probably more pressing at this point on SuperNova's mind. But it's a scary one. Very scary.
Those 2 Banshees are putting in work as well, and if those Queens die, it's only up to that Spore Crawler, and these Hellbats are still alive, and that's a fully saturated Zerg base, and Hellbats just love to roast and toast those drones as they do. Well, did they say extractor? It's pretty much a drone, I guess, but not really. Gonna try to do it, but this is not looking too great for Sacsri as he does fall in supply. And SuperNova has established his third base. I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to call. He's lost a lot of army there, but then he traded that army. It wasn't like the army was wasted by SuperNova at all. At this point, Sacsri is having to remake pretty much everything. He's making his drones, he's making his Lings, and obviously every drone is not a Ling to go across the map and put pressure on SuperNova at his new third.
Yeah, there's no, okay, yeah, this Queen should be able to take out this Banshee, but... What is Sacsri's... Okay, I was going to say, like, he needs another game plan here. He can't just go Ling Bling. The Baneling bust was not successful in ending the game. Didn't get that many worker kills. So now he needs to go into something else. But we're looking at a 3-base... Yeah, 3-base Terran against a 3-base Zerg that is going to be going for really late mutas. These are quite late. I mean, we saw the fastest mutas last game. These are the opposite of that. Against the Mecha player who's going to be established.
Yeah, I mean, using mutas at this... Maybe it's for Corruptors. If he thinks that it's going straight to an air style, maybe he's just going to go straight into Corruptors, as we've seen Zerg do against Protoss when they go for kind of more early established air styles. So, I don't know. We'll have to see what he does build out of that Spire. The Roach Warren only produces 1 unit, so it's pretty clear what that's going to be for.
Ravages? Huh? No.
I reckon so. Give it time. Give it time. We're not there yet.
Yeah. But look at this. SuperNova is getting in here. Gonna go into scout. Oh, he doesn't see it actually yet that it's a Spire. but he should be able to see it eventually. He is just getting a lot of drone kills. Doesn't realize that the Spire's on the way, though, so if he undercommits to the Thor production, which it doesn't look like is going to be the case, yeah, I think he's going to be all right.
Just mix in a couple of Thors, you know. You've got to get a couple of Thors in your composition, because if the Zerg goes for something that you aren't expecting and you see suddenly this kind of...
What's up? And he has a really scary Thor count that is on the way. For the situation that Sacsri is in, I would say that's pretty scary. I would assume that Sacsri may not commit to the mutas and just go ahead. Yeah, look, he's going to make 18 roaches. I love it. So what he's doing right now is forcing Thors to be made and then just committing to a huge roach push. And the fact that he's not getting a 4th base means that this is his Hail Mary. He's going to hope that there's really not any tanks. But look how many Banshees are here. Even without tanks.
That's a lot of Banshees.
Yeah. So the Queens are going to be pretty much Banelings for the Hellbats, Roaches for the Thors, and then Queens for the Banshees. So we'll see if this is going to be able to be executed correctly. Or maybe SuperNova's just going to say, I'm going to be the one attacking here.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, he's got a lot of SCVs with this push to help reinforce it. The Banshees, of course, are absolutely fantastic DPS, but then there's a run by into the 3rd base of SuperNova as well, so this is getting increasingly all in as he moves out. The Roach is cleaning that up pretty nicely. I think the majority of the SCVs survived that attack, but the tanks CG up now. All of these Banelings rolling in, smashing through the Hellbats like they're not even there. There's now 3 Thors and just SCVs and Thors.
Oh my god.
And Thors and Banshees.
It's actually going to be able to do it. He got a sick counterattack at the 3rd. This is the lift up, and he cleans up that mech force. And now, he didn't lose anything there, and this is really nice position to be in. Mech armies take incredibly long time to remake, and he can go into mutas if he wanted to, because he's going to be able to, he reset the Thor count, and now, so that SuperNova is like, oh my god, no, roaches, I got to make some C-Sting.
Yeah, no, exactly what is happening on the field now. In fact, remaking that Thor finally, but Sacsri is not making the mutas. He doesn't have the gas for it. He spent too much in defending that, I think. So that's the saving grace for SuperNova that might just keep him alive and in this game a bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, I like this choice from him. Double expanding and saying, you know what, I may not be in a really bad position. Forcing that 3rd to lift up was so good, because during that attack, there was no mining being done. And then just catching SuperNova off guard, oh man, showing the Spire and then just making a bunch of roaches. God, he did that without Baneling speed too. So no, don't be throwing away your roaches here. I know that. But
this Banshee's unable to give chase to those roaches over up on the top side of the map. But I'm just thinking, when they get the Banshee boost in Legacy of the Void, they're going to be
they're going to be like chasing roaches all day.
It's going to be like shoot and scoot, just pew, 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 drifting along. They're going to be like phoenixes, but only able to attack ground.
The ground, incloakable.
Yeah, true. Invisible phoenixes. Actually, that's terrifying.
It is, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh god. SuperNova here, though, I like it. He survived the scariest part of losing your whole freaking army, which is the part where you don't have an army and you're building it back really slowly. And he's back up, he's on the 3 bases, so he's still continuing to be on the same amount of bases as Sacsri. But Sacsri's response was to go ahead and get the 4th. He's going to get the 5th, but it's going to get taken out. But Swarmhost is going to be his choice. He made a few mutas, but not a lot. Swarmhost will be his main flavor. What is preference here? So this is trying to think of the actual positioning of both players. I think.
Well, no, go on.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I think that the decision to go for just a few mutas was kind of to test the waters, but he missed his timing to do anything with them. That could be very effective. Maybe he'll get like a little bit done, be annoying. But him going Swarmhost makes me think that he does want to go for the long game, and he's gonna need Hive for that. If you're ever gonna go Swarmhost and try to actually break a Terran, you do need that Hive, and that's exactly what he's getting immediately. So I think he's gonna be okay. I think we're gonna see a very, standard TVZ mech game, like despite everything that happened. But neither player is 100% ahead. It's not like
No, it's kind of a lot like the first game, really, where we're going to see a gradual progression into the mid to late game. Oh, a lot of mutants just went down there. I am wondering at what point we might see SuperNova go back towards that ghost composition.
Exactly, right? I think like when we start seeing that fourth base come up, there's a lot of command centers being made right now, and what else are you going to really use your minerals on as a mech player? I mean, you can make Hellions, I guess, but this I don't know about. Sacsri's losing so many units. He keeps on throwing a few, trying to find an opening here, but he just can't get it. He needs to get that hive. He needs to start trading with those Vipers, but SuperNova is actually in a very scary position. He has 3-3. He has that solid mech composition, and then he's going to be mining from the fourth, which means that he can do that transition to the sky if he does choose to. So we may see a bit of a repeat if Sacsri is not able to break any one of these bases.
Yeah, it's the push forward with the roaches towards the PF at the fourth. But there's a lot of tanks guarding that. I'm wondering at what point they're going to... Yep, there we go. One of those over there getting the aggro. Banshee's now turning up to smash those roaches away, and they really didn't get a lot of damage done there.
So Sacsri going for the Ultralisk again, and this map is very hard to get good use out of Ultralisks, especially in the position, because when you attack, I feel like you're always attacking up a ramp, you're attacking through a crevice, you're attacking somewhere, but this is like the one location I think where you can, like whereas here if he tries to like defend there to make Ultras that effective, but we'll see if he's able to do it. Big run by here, getting a lot of drones at the fourth or fifth rather of Sacsri.
Yeah. Both players, they're still maintaining a really good work account though. Like both players are just hovering in the right kind of region, and they're building up those super armies that we saw before. The ones that actually Sacsri ended up losing out on. Merry-Go-Round is probably a slightly better map for a Zerg to be trying to win a war of attrition against a Terran. Better than Overgrowth was, certainly.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much better it is.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't... I guess as a Zerg player, when you are playing against a mech player, it is always nice if you can do some early game damage and then always be ahead. You don't necessarily want to be even and then like just like going straight up against them. So when it gets to that point, then you really have to think for the late game and really have to value your units and can't be throwing units away like he was. So I'm really liking it, the fact that he is able to get all of these bases. Although he was losing quite a bit, he has roaches around looking to destroy those Hellions that do try to get some run-by damage done. But the ultimate comp that he's looking for, what is it going to be here? What do we got, Sacsri, and what do we got, SuperNova?
I'm waiting for the ghosts. That's the ultimate comp for me. When he brings those ghosts in and starts EMPing Infestors. I've never seen anyone EMP an Infestor in the entire time I've been watching StarCraft 2 and playing StarCraft 2, and that's like that's going on 3 years now. And I've never seen it happen ever. And I've been saying it since Wings of Liberty. Why does no one EMP the Infestors? And they just didn't. It never did it.
Get it, especially with Infestor Broodlord being so popular. Whoa! Yeah, exactly. Sacsri losing. Oh man, what's going on here? He's losing the Swarm Host. Looks like he's not paying attention here because SuperNova is running by at his fifth and in his main. But Sacsri,
that is bad. That is really
huge.
bad.
That is like so big. 9 Ultras. Maybe he did it on purpose because it looks like he's making 9 Ultras, and he's like, you know what? I didn't really want Swarm Hosts. But if anything, I would have probably thrown away maybe a few of the roaches, but I guess the mobility of the roaches is nice. Swarm Hosts, I guess, aren't really that effective right now, but if you get a good amount of them, you can keep these pushes from coming.
Yeah, it is very difficult to kind of do that. I do like roaches versus mech, but only if the mech player can be torn apart in a way that I just don't feel like SuperNova can be. He's just too consistent. He's always in the right place. He always has his Ravens and his Banshees over the flock. And now, finally, Sacsri might be getting a good enough engagement. But there's so many tanks on the ground, and so many... Oh no, the Blinding Clouds, though, might be enough to swing it.
Yeah, the Blinding Clouds were the heroes here. The Queen's putting in so much work, but there are no Infestors here. Ultralists are going to get a full surround on all of these tanks. And the Blinding Cloud Ultra comp is nice. And I think that's what Sacsri decided to do. Go for the Ultras, get a sick engagement, and then push it. Because Swarm Host you can't end the game. You kind of just play it out. And I feel like Sacsri does not want to play that style anymore. And he may have just got fed up, you know? Is it going to work, though? Is it going to be to his benefit? Yeah.
Build 6 more. He's going for the kill to such an extent, and adding on a Hydra Den in case he needed to deal with an Air Force. I love that decision out of our Zerg play. He's going to be moving forward with those Ultras, doing as much damage as he can with the initial wave. He even still got a couple of Roaches left that survived the tank fire at the start. And the Vikings re-landing, going to try and deal with the Queens on their own turf, I guess.
Yep, they will get cleaned up, but there are 8 more Ultras and 3 Vipers on the way. And looks like SuperNova, though, he's took a lot of damage there, you know? If you look at the resources lost, Sacsri evened it up there, in a good way, you know, where he was leading in that category of units lost. But now SuperNova is the one that's at 29k lost, and Sacsri is at 28.3k lost, so really nice. That was actually a really efficient trade, despite he didn't kill him. You know, the fact that he didn't kill him. And with the Hydras on the way, too, he should be able to do really nice. You can get the Blinding Clouds on those, on the tanks again. Just gotta be careful for Seeker Missile, that's all.
Like, to be honest, even if you get those clouds down, I'm not sure it matters, because you get the blinding clouds down, and then it's just like the Terran has to move. Even if you lose all your Vipers, which again isn't ideal, but it's a necessary loss sometimes to get those clouds down, and then boom, you come in with those Ultras, you end the game.
Yeah, and that's what he wanted to do there, because he doesn't want to give SuperNova another chance. He hasn't decided to go for the Infestors this game, so I don't know how he's going to be able to deal with the Ravens very well. Like, he's going to have to keep on baiting out Seeker Missiles and then falling back again. Or maybe even just pulling them. You know, he's going to have Vipers, so he could pull Ravens into Hydras.
Yeah, it didn't work out so well for him last game, though, and I think that what Sacri's trying to do is adapt from the previous game where he played against SuperNova's Meg style, where he played against those Ghosts, and is trying to learn from it and adapt, and therefore we're getting this very high DPS style. We're getting this kind of more fluid and aggressive note rather than a heavy swarm host composition with Broodlords that obviously didn't work very well.
Exactly.
And I think that it's a good shout. I think that Sacsri is really on point with this, and he could do extremely well out of it.
Yeah, and he's going to go for it again. Vikings are going to be targeting out the Vipers, but not before they do get their Blinding Clouds. Really, really nice point defense drones. No Seeker Missiles, though. These Ravens are going to need to go ahead and get some good hits. This planetary is going down, and Sacsri is busting on through. Does he have detection, though? I think they might have been sniped by those Vikings.
No, it's in the back.
No, here come the Overseers. They don't have the speed,
trundling in really slowly, and there's nothing really to... Actually, you know, the Hydra should be able to zone it out, but losing that base is a serious blow to SuperNova's economy. He needs gas desperately to keep powering himself through this in a macro game when you're going mech, and it's just not enough to be mining off maybe 2-3 bases with that gas. Mech is like a 3-4 base all in.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think, well, this is what Sacsri needs to do. Did he trade favorably there? I believe he did once more. So that was a favorable trade despite looking like that. But he killed the base, but he also killed a lot of tanks. And, oh man, this is really a position where you want to end the game because you just don't, with this style, it's not like the Swarm Host, like, I'm going to bleed you out style. This is the I'm going to come and kill you style. And get a really sick engagement and then push you back before you can remax. But SuperNova holding like a boss pretty much this whole game. He's been just surviving, but now...
Yeah, surviving is kind of the word, but you know, that is a big Zerg army moving forward. How long can he keep on surviving if this sort of trade keeps occurring, with all those tanks going down for almost no return, with Hydras shredding Ravens out of the sky? All of the Ultras did go down there in the end, so perhaps it... Oh no, there's still one left. Still one little guy left. One big guy, maybe.
He's a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
But this is what Sacsri doesn't need to do. He may not realize it, that his supply is pretty damn good compared to that of his opponent, but he is not allowing SuperNova to mine from more than 2 bases at a time. If he can keep SuperNova on these 2 bases and then get these ones of his own going, it will be really nice for him. I'm liking this Hydra style, especially if he's able to get the Blinding Clouds. He keeps losing, though, his Overseers to the Vikings because he can just kind of pick it off and then fall back, and then the Banshees clean up, which force Sacsri to fall back. But I swear, if he just gets Overload speed and just makes like a bajillion Overseers, those engagements are going to look so different because he will be able to just, I think, make it happen. Well, make it happen on the opposite side of things.
Maybe. I love Sacri's macro.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he's just keeping on top of it so well, and even with the Banshee sniping bases, he's taking every base on the map, and obviously every mineral you mine is a mineral your opponent can't mine. It's not like there's any way to exchange those. Pushing forward with those Hydras now into the base, pulling a tank into it, and they're dealing so much damage at this point. I'm not sure if this was the wisest engagement for Sacsri, but his bank is good, and he's actually continuing to push forward with the Hydras, picking up a bunch more tanks.
He is. May not have been the best trade, but he does get the base once again. But SuperNova has a lot of bases. Every time that Sacsri kills one, he's like, oh, just float on another one. And but he's trading out. He's getting rid of the Raven count a little bit more. And the tank count is really what is staying alive. So if he ever gets to that point where he realizes that the Air Force is not that scary, he can go for an big giant Mutaflock. Don't know if he's been keeping up with his air upgrades, but if he goes into that, SuperNova is not going to have anything at all. He's going to have a bunch of tanks, and he'll get completely blindsided. So that is definitely something to consider as he does continue to force out these tanks from SuperNova.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if Changelings, if they were going for a mech composition, if Changelings turned into like Hellions or something?
Yeah, right? Because
I mean, I realize that isn't related to what you were saying, but you know.
No, but I agree.
Yeah. It'd be hard to tell,
why
I
would
guess.
I make a Marine? Like, come on.
Yeah, it's just too obvious. I don't know. Maybe. Either way, there are Hellions, real ones, not Changeling ones, pushing towards the bottom of the map, trying to pick off some creep dreamers, trying to kill off some locusts without dying. And SuperNova is building up his army again with that rebuilt base that he has rebuilt all of the bases that he's lost time and time again. And it's just... It is just a back and forth. It is getting towards the 40-minute mark. This is when the previous game ended, but this one is showing no signs of it. And
no, this is much better for Sacsri.
Yeah.
And not as many nukes either, huh? Like, that's not...
No, I know, that sucks though.
I know.
I want more.
We want nukes.
Bring them back, SuperNova. I guess
love
in
the
this situation...
Banshees of SuperNova though, man. Like, he's so active with them.
Yeah. He's just been running around the map. Like, he lost a lot of them to Hydras a couple of times. In fact, doesn't lose... Oh, loses them again!
The abducts! Yep, abducts going down.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why that's good, because they aren't worth that much in themselves, but they cost so much gas, and it forces SuperNova to basically choose between having an army and having a harassment force.
Yeah, you know what else costs a lot of gas? 11 infestors coming out of Sacsri here, and... let's see, there's a lot of tanks, by the way. Like... This is literally how many tanks are on the map. There are 21 tanks right now, and SuperNova is broke in the gas department. Like, he needs gas, and I really feel like that wouldn't be a bad idea to invest more into those mutas and start really utilizing them. Or mutilizing them, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's just the fact that there's just so much on the ground here that the Ultras are going to have to get a 6 surround and also get a really nice blinding cloud, but tanks do incredibly well against infestors.
Yeah.
You can't really get in range.
That's the problem. Unless, of course, you get the burrow and you sneak in and get away with it like that. And then you pop the neural parasite, of course, which does change the dynamic at least a little bit. But we'll have to see whether he can get away with that. Fungal's going down. Infested Terrans being spewed out. Immediate PDDs to deal with those. And Fungals and Blinding Clouds. A huge engagement is going down as the Ultras push forward, crushing through the tanks that now can't really fire on them. But I still think that the close-range tanks, even with most of them being killed off, the Ultras are going to be destroyed first.
Yeah, kind of a weird engagement from Sacsri. He went through that little choke, but he cleared up the tank count. And this is going to allow the Swarm Host and allow the Infestors to be a bit more effective if he can stop this base from mining. This is Sacsri's moment here. He says, no, if you start mining from that base, things start to get a little bit more dicey. He has to know how broke SuperNova is. But that move out from SuperNova is a desperation move. You don't do that when you're sitting
Swarm Host, Sacsri!
No!
Oh, this keeps happening.
So many times that it does happen to him. But this
Who
base
else
cannot
was suicided on a Swarm Host before?
Oh god,
Wasn't Sacsri again, was it?
I think it was. It was earlier this game too.
Yeah, no,
he did.
It happened like on a previous day, but I don't know. There's one player out there who really hates Swarm Hosts.
Just like
and Sacsri may not be that guy, but he may also be that guy. And pulling those tanks into the Ling field exactly where they don't want to be.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is the point Sacsri needs to stop because, like I was saying earlier, SuperNova would not move out to take that base in such like an almost YOLO move, you know? Like, I'm moving every single one of my tanks to take this base, means that I am starving right now, and I need those minerals, those yummy Vespene gas geyser cans. So, the fact that he did clean that up, really nice. Going into super Ling mode, as he does have Lings moving around. I don't know if they have the adrenal glands
Running into
yet.
the natural, actually. Killing off a tank, killing off some Hellions, and when that starts happening, you know there's a problem. It means the Lings are just too close. Gonna get another tank, cutting off the wave of reinforcements. And, yep, gets another one. Even perhaps gonna kill a Hellbat. Yeah. Kills a Hellbat. Perfect.
Nothing but tanks being made out of here from SuperNova. Did the Infestors all get... Oh, no, they're all here still. So this may be his move as he does reposition his Swarm Host. The Lings are still getting dealt with quite a bit.
They've just been killed off. That may be the most cost-effective, like 20-odd Lings I've ever seen. They killed like 3 tanks, 4 depots, and about 6 Hellions.
Yeah, it's really nice there, especially at this stage of the game. But this is
when SuperNova is as poor as he is.
Yeah, but he's fighting. He's clawing his way back into this game, in the sense that it was looking like he was about to be down and out for a second. But getting this base breathes a little bit more life into him, and this is the base that he just needs to kill. If he kills this base, or at least if he holds here and is able to get his mech army quite, powerful, he can kill that base of Sacsri, take that, and now he has 2 more bases that he can mine from, and then you are a sad Zerg.
Yeah, you're a sad panda. But a Zerg panda, so, you know.
Oh, no, this is a much better engagement here, coming from all sides. But blinding clouds on everything. Infested Terrans are getting spewed all over the place. SCVs are getting pulled off of the line in order to repair. But this is Sacsri's move. He is going in for the kill. So many units.
Yeah.
Swarm Host on the right side. Uh-oh. Is there any detection here, though? You know, those Banshees will eventually clear it up, but...
I guess so. Well, until they run out of energy, anyway. And of course, you can detect by using fungal to reveal units. That is an option. These Infestors, however, all being killed off by the very Banshees they need to reveal. So this may not be the right play for Sacsri. Just not noticing what's going on there.
Has Sacsri done it though? I think he has 158 supply to the 32 through a grueling series. Sacsri, I think, is going to be going on to the playoffs here in the round of 8 of the ASL as he breaks on through of SuperNova.
Yeah,
and,
he's going to be dipping a toe in the prize pool and getting himself a neat, I think it's $100.
Yeah.
If he makes it through, of course.
Like, that was the move there. If it failed and SuperNova stabilizes, it's just like that last time when he with the Broodlords and got all the fungals on the Ravens and then just let it slip. That time was much more convincing, so much more patient, went in for it, changed up his unit comp. GG!